What's going on, YouTube family? My name's Toby, and today we're going to talk about that body fat that you're just dying to get rid of. First off, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about myself. I'm currently enrolled in a school, and I'm taking personal training courses that receive college credits, and then I will go on to take the ACSM certification test. And if you guys aren't familiar with ACSM, they are like the gold standard for personal training. It's the best place to get your personal training certificate from because you really have to know your stuff. So if you're like, why should I listen to this dude? He's not even a certified personal trainer. You're right, I'm not. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the information I'm learning from my classes and I'm teaching them to you. That way we're learning at the same time. I get to teach you so I can learn from hearing myself say it. So, like I said, today we're going to be talking about how to lose body fat. So, if you're like me, I started wanting to get healthy about 3-4 years ago. And if you're like me, where you YouTube this, YouTube that, to try to find out better ways of losing body fat, building muscle, and all these things, you'll notice that the people talking in the videos, they kind of use like these big words and words you don't really understand. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of break those terms down and explain what they mean. Because I know that it really confused me watching these videos, really wanting to lose weight, really wanting to build muscle, and not being able to understand what it is that these people are telling me. So anyway, today, like I said, once again, back on track, sorry. We're going to be talking about how to lose body fat. So let's jump right into it. First things first, you gotta make sure you have your water intake. I personally like to have a gallon of water each and every day. I got my gallon of water right here. Kind of slacking today, as you can tell. About halfway, a little under halfway. A trick for you guys, I like to treat myself after I drink a certain point of water because I don't like just downing water all day. I like to have flavor with stuff I'm drinking. So what I'll do is whenever I get to this line right here, if you guys can see that, I like to get the Crystal Light packets and I'll pour it in the water jug, shake it up, and give me something tasty to drink. Moving on from the water, just make sure you have plenty of water intake and don't cheat yourself, because if you cheat yourself, you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else but yourself. Moving on to food. Food is a big thing, and there's a bunch of controversy around it of what's right and what's wrong. And anybody you're going to ask, including me, is going to tell you something different from what you've heard. Me personally, I think there's a couple of great ways of dieting, and I think there's a lot of bad ways of dieting. Personally, me, I'm one that has to eat minimum of 3 times a day. And sometimes I'll try the diet intermediate fasting, and if you don't know what intermediate fasting is, it's where you eat one hefty meal a day. I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute, but first let's get into eating the 3 times a day. So even if you're trying to lose body fat, you're gonna want to make sure that you're eating 3 times a day. And I know you're saying, well, why would I eat more if I'm trying to lose weight? If you don't eat, your metabolism is not going to turn on. Therefore, you're plateaued. You're staying at the weight that you're at. You have to make sure that you eat minimum 3 times a day to ensure that you flip that metabolism switch so it starts burning that fat. And that's where your diet and workouts come to play together. You can't have one without the other, because if you eat, that metabolism switch is going to turn on, but it's only going to burn so much fat. You have to go to the gym and work out to burn that other portion. So, 3 times a day, that's one way of doing it. The other way I was talking about intermediate fasting. The thing about intermediate fasting, you have to pick a specific time of where you're going to eat. So if you're going to start out eating from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., you have to follow that religiously each and every day. You can't eat 2 to 4 one day and then the next day eat from 1 to 3. Can't do that. It throws your body all out of whack. Just can't do it. It's a big no-no. So, things to eat when you're doing these things. Chicken's a big one. Honestly, if you're a broke college kid like me and you don't have a lot of money to spend on food, eating healthy can be cheap if you choose the right things to buy. And chicken's one of them. Chicken's super cheap. You can buy like 5 of the big breasts in a pack for $10 at Pilo, Walmart, wherever you want to go. I personally like to have a lot of red meat in my diet, so I get like the flank steak. And if you're not familiar with what flank steak is, it's like a big piece of steak. It's about this big. It's thinner, but it's longer, and it's super cheap. You can cut it up into different meals. Personally, I like to meal prep, so I make all my meals at the beginning of the week, so that way I can just plop it in the microwave and then I'm good to go, which I'll talk about that in a second. And if you can afford fish, great. I'm happy for you. Personally, I can't afford it right now, me being in school. Vegetable-wise, I eat anything that's green. I don't eat anything that's not green. And let me tell you why. Things that have color to them have sugars in them, natural sugars. And you might say, well, natural sugars are good for you. Yeah, they are. But not whenever you're trying to lose weight. You want to cut out that. And anything that's green or has green in it is full of fiber. And I'll talk to you more about that in a different video. So, on to the meal prepping. So meal prepping it's a little bit time consuming, but it's all in one day. So you get all your meals prepped at the beginning of one day, and then you're ready for throughout the course of the week. So what you do is you meal prep your meat. You cook your meat, you put it in, I call them meal prep trays. You can get them for like 5 in a pack at Walmart for $6. But you cook your meat, you put it in your meal prep container. You leave your first 2 days out. So your lunch and dinner for your first 2 days, you leave it out, put it in the refrigerator. The other ones, you're going to stick in the freezer, take them out the night before. That way they're ready to go the next day. And what I do with my vegetables, I always get canned vegetables. I don't really go with the frozen vegetables too much, and to me, they just don't taste very good. The canned vegetables taste great to me. I'll choose those over frozen vegetables each and every time, but you might be different from me. Moving on to the workouts, this is where a lot of your weight loss is going to come from. And I know you might not want to hear it, but in the case of losing weight, running is key. You want, each time you work out, whether it be twice a week, 3 times a week, you want to run 3 miles. And you don't have to run. If you're heavier, you can do a fast walking pace. And if you're able to, do a jog. Don't cheat yourself. You know how hard you can work. And it's up to you whether you choose to do it or not. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Once you get that running out of the way, and trust me guys, the running is where the mental game is going to come in clutch. You have to have the strong mentality to be able to run 3 miles and keep a pace to it. And you have to dedicate yourself to it. Dedication is key. So whenever it comes to the actual workout, besides your cardio, you're going to want to stick to calisthenic workouts. So calisthenics, for those that don't know, is pretty much all it is body mass workout. So you're not using anything but your body weight to work out. And these workouts can include push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, anything that you can think of that you can do with just using your body mass. And if for those that aren't too sure with how many different calisthenic workouts are, just leave me a comment in the section and say, hey, I don't really know too many calisthenic workouts that I can do, and then I will make another video showing you guys how to do calisthenic workouts and different ones that you can do. But yeah, like, just make sure that you guys are doing both things. Eating healthy, working out. You cannot have one without the other. It's kind of like yin and yang. Yin and yang, they need each other to function properly. So, that's all I have for you guys today. If you find this video helpful, please leave me a like and a comment in the descriptions. And if you wouldn't mind pressing that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, YouTube, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And just remember, leave me a comment in the section below of seeing stuff that you would like to have advice on, things that you need help with. I'll also leave my email in the description below, and Instagram and Facebook, and you can message me, and if I don't respond,